NATO, the cornerstone of Western security for over 7 decades, has weathered countless storms, Cold War standoffs, terrorist threats, and internal disagreements. But now, the alliance faces a challenge unlike any before. An unprecedented internal crisis is shaking the very foundations of trust and unity among its members. The catalyst: President Trump's renewed aggressive push to purchase Greenland, this time not just with offers of money, but with open threats of military action if negotiations fail. On January 7, 2026, the White House stunned the world by declaring that using U.S. military force in the region is always an option, signaling a dramatic escalation in rhetoric and intent. This statement has sent shockwaves through the alliance, transforming what many saw as a diplomatic oddity into a full-blown security emergency that threatens to unravel decades of cooperation. Trump claims Greenland is overrun by Russian and Chinese ships, warning that Denmark is unable to secure the territory against foreign encroachment, and that American intervention is necessary to protect Western interests. His administration's rhetoric, amplified by key advisors and echoed in official briefings, has created a tense, unpredictable atmosphere among allies, with many questioning the future of the alliance. Social media posts from senior officials, including a US-flagged map of Greenland captioned "Soon," have gone viral, further inflaming tensions and fueling public outrage across Europe and North America. The idea of one NATO ally threatening another over territory was once unthinkable. Now, it's a live crisis, with protests erupting in capitals and leaders scrambling to respond. This standoff strikes at the heart of NATO's founding principle of collective defense, raising urgent questions about the alliance's ability to survive internal discord. The world watches as diplomacy is tested to its limits and the alliance teeters on the edge of self-destruction, with the fate of Western security hanging in the balance. Denmark and Greenland have responded with swift, unified rejection. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warns that any US military move would betray NATO and risk its collapse. Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen insists the territory is not for sale, and asserts Greenland's right to self-determination. Both leaders seek to de-escalate, but stand firm against American pressure. Denmark has backed words with action, boosting Arctic defense spending and conducting military drills in Greenland. These moves send a clear message: Greenland is defended, and its sovereignty is not negotiable. American threats have united NATO allies in rare solidarity. Leaders from the UK, France, Germany, and others publicly backed Denmark and Greenland, condemning US tactics. Canada opens a consulate in Nuuk, and Norway warns that NATO itself is at risk if the US proceeds. Behind the scenes, frantic diplomacy aims to de-escalate, with NATO's Secretary General working through back channels. Denmark even declines French troops, wary of further provocation. The crisis forces Europe to confront the possibility of a future without reliable US security guarantees. Greenland's strategic value is central to the crisis, shaping the calculations of world powers and driving a new era of competition in the Arctic. Its vast, icy expanse is no longer just a remote wilderness. It's a focal point for military, economic, and political ambitions. The US already operates Pituffik Space Base, a key missile defense and surveillance site, under a treaty with Denmark. This installation is critical for tracking threats across the North Atlantic and monitoring activity in the increasingly contested Arctic region. Greenland anchors the Giayuk Gap, a vital maritime choke point for NATO, especially as Russian naval activity rises. Control of this passage is essential for the movement of military and commercial vessels between the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Melting ice is revealing vast resources, rare earth minerals, oil, and gas, attracting powerful US business interests. As the climate changes, new opportunities for extraction and exploration are opening up, drawing global attention to Greenland's untapped wealth. Tech billionaires and major Trump donors see Greenland as a new frontier for mining, AI, and space ventures. They envision a future where Greenland's resources fuel innovation and economic growth, making it a magnet for ambitious entrepreneurs. Their lobbying adds a potent domestic political dimension to the White House's push, intertwining private interests with national strategy and influencing policy at the highest levels. The fusion of corporate ambition and geopolitics complicates the crisis, blurring the lines between public and private power as both sides vie for influence over Greenland's future. Greenland is no longer just a strategic outpost, it's a prize in a global contest for power and resources, where the stakes are higher than ever, and the world is watching closely. The Greenland Gambit has exposed deep divisions in the US. Bipartisan lawmakers warn that threatening a NATO ally violates the alliance's core principles. Congress moves to restrict defense funding, tying it to NATO commitments and European security. Meanwhile, Trump's business backers push for Greenland's acquisition, eyeing rare earths, data centers, and rocket sites. Their financial clout gives them direct influence in the White House. This clash between political establishment and entrepreneurial interests creates a volatile policy battle. The outcome in Washington will shape America's global role as much as any diplomatic negotiation. The Greenland standoff is more than a US-Denmark dispute. It's a flashpoint that could redefine the future of transatlantic security and reshape the global order as we know it. This crisis is, at its core, an existential test for NATO, challenging the very foundation of the alliance built over decades. The alliance's core principle, mutual defense, is threatened by internal division, as allies question each other's intentions and commitment. If the US acts on its threats, NATO's credibility could be shattered, leaving Europe exposed and vulnerable to new forms of pressure and aggression. Global rivals watch closely, seeing Western unity fracture without a single shot fired and sensing an opportunity to expand their influence. Quiet diplomacy is now the last hope to de-escalate tensions, rebuild trust, and preserve the alliance before irreparable damage is done. The crisis exposes the fragility of the post-war order, reminding us how quickly decades of cooperation can unravel. It raises a stark question. Can alliances based on trust and shared values survive in an era dominated by raw power politics and shifting loyalties? As the world holds its breath, ordinary citizens and leaders alike wonder what the future holds for peace and security. The fate of NATO and the Western world hangs in the balance, with history watching every move.